rumble of the discourse. We've taken an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining American empire and repurposed it into a battleground where 19 separate entities from across the political spectrum enter the discourse one by one and do battle to determine who controls the narrative force of the discourse. I hope you'll join me, your Southern Gothic futurist host, dirtgod Raven Mac, for each and every episode of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Hey, what's up with y'all? It's your boy dirtgod Raven Mac, host of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. We are back here at Catbird Arena, our abandoned concrete factory at the edge of town. It is May 1st, 2023. Happy May Day to y'all. So Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse, if you don't know what's up, 27 competitors, 2 at the opening bell, 1 new one comes out every minute. Get eliminated by being tossed, pinned, or submitted. You get a point for eliminating folks, bonus points for finishing in those final 4, and it's a 7-week series. So 6 weeks, folks come out here and accumulate points, trying to make points to make it to that 7th week finale where the top 27 point getters come out in reverse order. So the more points you have, the later you come out and try to be the champion of the discourse. 3 weeks ago, the police state won this thing. 2 weeks ago, Reply Guy finished on top, pinning the Twitter communist. And then last week, Elon Musk and the Twitter communist were the last two. Elon gets a little backhand on Twitter communist, you can see here, and he gets the pin to eliminate Twitter communists and win the thing last week. So that takes us to our standings. Reply Guy is at the top right now with 16 points. Police state and Twitter communist tied with 15, only 1 point off the lead. Elon with 14 points. Donald Trump's got 13. You can see Biden, Library Drag Queen, Legacy Blue Check, Josh Hawley, not an FBI agent. They're all up there as well. Let's go ahead and go to the ring and see what we got tonight. Apparently, because it's May Day, we are going to have all leftists out here this evening, folks. So your referees are there, the police state, and the National Guardsmen, certainly not leftist influences. And coming out first, of course, Bernie Sanders, progressive voice, 2016, 2020. You know, all the Bernie bros were in effect. Bernie had a lot of support, you know, and he's been the voice of progressivism in the Senate. And he will be facing off against Elizabeth Warren, another voice, progressive voice in the Senate. Of course, took a little bit of hit when her claims of being indigenous took a shot from her ancestry test. But they're both at top of the ladder and falling off before the bell even rings here. I would hope that they would cooperate and have a little solidarity in the name of May Day, but I guess this is Rumble of the Discourse, so they're going to go at it. Of course, Elizabeth Warren has still survived those, items that might have got her canceled in a more, if cancel culture was real, claiming to be indigenous when you aren't. But she's from Massachusetts, and Massachusetts is one of the more insufferable progressive states. Massachusetts progressivism doesn't really work in the Midwest or the South because they're just so damn insufferable, man. But hey, what are you going to do? So Bernie and Elizabeth Warren going at it here. A couple ladders in the ring represent the meritocracy myth. We have 7 of them, and of course 23 briefcases scattered around the ring with super PAC money. Even though this is leftism, and we get a buzzer. Like I said, it's going to be all leftist voices tonight. And here comes a gray wolf. This is a gray wolf. This is just one random Patreon supporter from Chapo Trap House. So this is a big Chapo Trap House fan. Of course, they call their Patreon supporters of the Dirtbag Left, who actually support that Patreon, the Gray Wolves, named after a Turkish sort of neo-fascist leftist organization. Chapo Trap House kind of funny to me because all those guys and girls seem to be pretty wealthy already, and then they got really wealthy off of the podcast. One of the most successful patrons. Of course, this is supported by my Patreon. I'm nowhere near Chapo Trap House money, but very successful, very rich, and yet they're leftists. And I never understand how rich leftists don't understand if they could just redistribute their wealth. That's the best thing they can do. Well, here comes Katie, and Elizabeth Warren got tossed by that gray wolf over there as Katie Porter was coming out. Katie Porter, congresswoman from California, made some name for herself a little bit recently for holding people to account in very public settings. Of course, had a couple more performative things, like at State of the Union, I believe it was, where she was, or before that, where she was pretending to read a book about not giving a fuck, and it's just kind of become kind of performative, it seems, and you'd rather see your politicians stay true to their thinking and not just be doing little photo ops like that. But whatever, man. I'm not a politician. I'm just a dumbass with a Patreon. And here comes Dark Brandon. And Dark Brandon, of course, the dark side of Joe Biden. And you hear the right, Fox News, the right-wing talking pundits. They talk about how there's a socialist conspiracy, a communist conspiracy, a leftist conspiracy to destroy America. But I don't really consider Biden to be leftist, really. That guy is... is he even centrist? I don't even know, but I do not see him leftist. But if they call some run of the mill, normal old ass senator leftist, it forces everything to go the other way. And Dark Brandon, he gets the pin on Bernie Sanders, so Bernie eliminated, and that makes sense because he already said he wasn't running in 2024. He was going to support Biden, so that Bernie did the job. And here comes John Fetterman. John Fetterman, of course, I showed you that leaderboard. Fetterman is just off of it. He's got 5 points so far this spring 2023 series, so he is out there. So we've got Dark Brandon, Katie Porter, a Gray Wolf, that Chapo Trap House supporter and fan, and Senator John Fetterman. Ladders all around. There's a hammer in there, a couple hammers in there. Do we get a sickle too today, Bob? From producer Bob Dabalina. It's May Day. Hammer and a sickle, maypole. Maybe we can do a little May dance later. How about that, Bob? After the show, okay. And Chelsea Manning. So I guess to get this 27-person field of leftists full, we've got to have some newcomers. And here comes Chelsea Manning, formerly born Bradley Manning, spent time in jail for doing the WikiLeaks dump. Chelsea Manning is out here and entered the rumble of the discourse. Katie Porter going for a pin on that Gray Wolf, and the Gray Wolf is eliminated. So Katie Porter finally did something useful. So we seem to be staying pretty level with 4 folks in there. Looks like Dark Biden has already been busted open. He's bleeding in there. We get a buzzer, and let's see who's going to join the melee. I think I recognize the music. Is this the wealthy left? Yep, it's the wealthy leftist. Here comes the wealthy leftist, speaking of rich folks who consider themselves progressives. And there's a pin in the ring. Katie Porter pinned by Chelsea Manning. So we seem to be holding tight at 4. Somebody comes out and somebody gets eliminated. That wealthy leftist, of course, runs a community center that his name is on the title deed, attached to the college in a developing part of town, but separate from the college, but usually college-oriented events there. Not really part of the community, but it is a community space, so to speak, whatever that means when you're not actually part of the community. And we got a buzzer, and it's the woke mobster. So the woke mob, often bandied about as a threat in modern American culture, the woke mobster, a representative of that. Going right after John Fetterman. Wealthy leftist in there. Chelsea Manning going after Dark Brandon. Looks like Fetterman's been busted open or bruised up pretty bad. He's taking a beating. And woke mobster rolls up Dark Brandon, just a 1 count. Ladders everywhere. Those ladders are very dangerous. You fall on one of those ladders, meritocracy myth, when it crumbles beneath you, you just lose everything. Very easy to get eliminated. And looky here, folks, on his way to heaven, the ghost of Harry Belafonte. He has come out, and I guess on his way, he wants to take out a few hypocritical people. The ghost of Harry Belafonte, and he's immediately in there on Chelsea Manning. So the ghost of Harry Belafonte has already gotten elimination. Of course, Harry Belafonte, a progressive voice throughout his life, held a lot of people to task. I mean, we're talking about going back to the 60s. Harry Belafonte was doing things, and even his show when it originally came out on TV was one of the desegregated shows, and it caused a lot of problems back in the days. And Noam Chomsky, so we've got a parade of strange leftist all-stars here. Noam Chomsky, of course, making some news for having been asked about associations with Jeffrey Epstein, of all people, and he answered, it's none of your business. Noam Chomsky apparently had dinner. Chomsky, Epstein, and Woody Allen. Man, that is not a hellish-sounding dinner to me. Whew. So Noam Chomsky, of course, leftist philosophical figurehead, written many books, of course, Manufacturing Consent, one of the big things that most people know about. Catching a little flack. Association with Jeffrey Epstein. That doesn't look good for anybody, to be honest. We get a buzzer, and it's Glenn Greenwald. Glenn Greenwald, former co-founder, sort of The Intercept, and Noam Chomsky pins John Fetterman. So Fetterman did not add any more points, as far as I can tell. Fetterman got pinned in there by Noam Chomsky. Glenn Greenwald, American, Brazilian American, lives in Brazil with his husband. But Glenn Greenwald, of course, on The Intercept, you know, some of his earlier reporting was pretty bold, pretty progressive, and then he sort of got into the weird Intercept era. And it, you know, it's always hard with these things to tell who's funding it, and that's true of any grifter. I'm sorry, journalist, citizen journalist that you see, like, who's funding it, you know. And here comes Ayanna Pressley, that Massachusetts Congresswoman, part of the squad. The ghost of Harry Belafonte got pinned in there. I did not see who pinned the ghost, so the ghost of Harry Belafonte got a single point. Believing, and the wealthy leftist pinned by Glenn Greenwald as well. So we've got some action going on. Ghost of Harry Belafonte, I think, is the first, perhaps, supernatural spirit, post-living spirit that we've had in the discourse. I'm not sure. Glenn Greenwald, of course, pinned that wealthy leftist in there. So we've got still in there Dark Brandon, the woke mobster, Noam Chomsky, Glenn Greenwald, and Ayanna Pressley. We get a buzzer, and who's going to join them? Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, is she a leftist? We're calling her a leftist, Bob? Well, she says she's still a leftist, so I don't know, man. Former congresswoman from Hawaii, but you know, whatever, she's out here in a bikini. Let's just check out Tulsi Gabbard. A little bit of eye candy for the remaining misogyny left inside of me. Is that misogyny? I just like sex and like fucking, you know? I'm not gonna fuck anybody without consent. And Ayanna Pressley pins Dark Brandon, so Ayanna Pressley gets rid of Dark Brandon. Woke Mobster took a tumble off the one of the meritocracy ladders, and Glenn Greenwald going after her. Them. And the library drag queen, somebody who was on our leaderboard out here now, the library drag queen entering things. Kind of like Glenn Greenwald's shirt, to be honest. Well, and there's a pin on the woke mobster. I couldn't see who that was. I'm looking around the ladder, but we got to make sure we get all these pins right. Ayanna Pressley. I think that was Ayanna Pressley, maybe. And there is another pin on 2 count. So Mayday. We've got a bunch of socialist, communist, leftist, progressive, maybe even Marxist-Leninists in here. Tulsi Gabbard with a pin on Glenn Greenwald, and Glenn Greenwald is out, eliminated by Tulsi Gabbard. Battle of the Grifters. And Comrade Nancy. So Comrade Nancy is just a person who uses the word comrade unironically. She does not say it ironically. Comrade Nancy says comrade in regular conversation and actually means it. So that's who Comrade Nancy is. Big comic book fan, loves comics. And Tulsi Gabbard got pinned in there, I think. I did not see who that was, but Tulsi Gabbard is now out. Comrade Nancy loves comic books. The Nancy is actually from the Nancy strips. Big fan of the Nancy strips. And you can see she has a pretty impressive mullet as well. And we get Cenk Uygur. So Cenk Uygur, the Turkish-American pundit, part of the Young Turk show. I never understood how these were progressive voices. Like, these were like rich folks getting supported on corporate media. Like, I never understood how that was leftist. But of course, he made some noise a couple weeks back complaining about, you know, the trans identity issues and saying like nobody actually cared about this stuff, and he was tired of working with leftists. And it's like, bro, you were never a leftist in the first place, man. You just like hustling wherever the paycheck is coming from, and somebody switch where the paycheck is from. And look at that, Noam Chomsky with a simple kick eliminates Comrade Nancy. Comrade Nancy is out. Give me a minute here, Bob. I'm going to check my OkCupid settings to local here. I'm going to see if I can match with Comrade Nancy. It's kind of cute. What can I say? And I was too busy looking at my phone there, folks. I did not say that the eco-terrorist came out. The eco-terrorist talked this guy back stage, and he believes the only way to save the earth is destroy everything man-made. He's basically sort of a not too successful white dude. Went to college, did not finish, and just fetishizes eco-terrorism. That's basically his whole shtick. Big fan of the deep green resistance stuff. And here comes the neurodivergent MB. I love this person. Neurodivergent MB. They are so weird. Like, talking to them is just so awkward. I just love it. I love awkward people. I love losers. And the neurodivergent MB, they are just the sweetest, weirdest, freakiest person backstage when you start talking to them. And they're really out of place with everybody here, but so I tend to pull for them now that I've talked to them a few times. All right, let's reset the field here. We got Noam Chomsky, Ayanna Pressley, the library drag queen Saint Uyghur, the eco-terrorist, and the neurodivergent MB in there. Looks like, well, let's get the buzzer in here, and the eco-terrorist pinned by Noam Chomsky. So the eco-terrorist is out, and the leftist gun boy comes out. We saw him a couple seasons back, but we have not seen him lately. He is a leftist gun guy, a guy who loves guns, has a lot of guns, and sort of proves the point that you don't just have to be right-wing to fetishize owning a small arsenal of weapons. He claims that we're going to have to protect ourselves at some point, although it's not clear what he means by that. Are we just going to be having shootouts in the streets at some point? Is that what people are hoping for? I don't know. And the library drag queen's busted wide open wearing a crimson mask, and that is not part of the James Charles palette. That is blood, folks. And a buzzer and Ilhan Omar, another member of the squad, Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, an advisor to my dearly departed friend Neil. And Ayanna Pressley pins Noam Chomsky. So Noam Chomsky, how many did he get, Bob? 4? Noam Chomsky eliminated 4, folks. So Noam Chomsky did pretty well channeling some of his anger about things. The discourse going after him. Ayanna Pressley eliminates him, though. We got ladders everywhere, people everywhere. Neurodivergent MB on Ilhan Omar, and that's only a 2 count. Barely kicked out in time. And a buzzer, and it's Angela Davis. Angela Davis. Wow. Did not expect her to enter the discourse here tonight, but here's Angela Davis. And the library drag queen got pinned by Ilhan Omar there, so the library drag queen is out. I don't believe they added any more points either. They were on that leaderboard but didn't get any new points. So a lot of people that have been on the board have not added points, and we haven't had too many people eliminate more than a person, to be honest. Of course, Noam Chomsky eliminated 4. Ayanna Pressley, I think, has eliminated a couple already. And there's Angela Davis, got a 2 count on St. Uyghur. And we get a buzzer, and it is Antifa. Antifa's out here. Of course, you got to have Antifa if you're going to have a leftist rumble. And the neurodivergent MB got pinned. I did not see who did it. Oh, man. That poor fool. Well, and Ayanna Pressley pinned St. Uyghur, so he is out. Thank goodness. Ayanna Pressley doing some damage. I think she might be getting up there close to Noam Chomsky levels for eliminating people. So we got Ayanna Pressley, the leftist gun boy, is still out there. Ilhan Omar, Angela Davis, and Antifa. I'm kind of glad St. Uyghur didn't win. I don't really like that guy, to be honest. And it's BLM, Black Lives Matter, has entered the rumble of the discourse. The issue never went away. It just sort of got swept under the rug. And it's interesting to see here. It looks like we have 6 people and 6 folks in the discourse right now. It looks like there's 4 African Americans, 1 white person, and 1, I don't know, they're wearing a mask. That Antifa black bloc, hard to say. It looks like they may be white appearing from their hands and neck, but I don't know. Can't say for sure. And Ilhan Omar kicks out at 2. Ilhan Omar's had a couple near pinfalls. buzzer, and I think we're getting down to the end here. I think we only have a couple folks left. And it is the darling of the left, AOC. She is coming out here joining the squad. So we've got Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, and AOC all in here at the same time. Of course, it is a leftist discourse tonight, so we probably won't be working together. Everybody going for dolo, so to speak. Police, they just throw to the ladders, National Guardsmen, everybody, just a pile of ladders and bodies. This is the rubble of the discourse. Yes, the rumble, but also the rubble. And look at that, Angela Davis pins Antifa. So Angela Davis, great elder of activism, pins Antifa. Here comes the Twitter communist, stand-up comedian. Not quite sure he's on the level with like these politicians and Angela Davis and Black Lives Matter, but he's out here. And with a wicked punch, he took a shot at the cop. Good for you, Twitter communists. I know the police state and him have had some issues this season already, so good to see the Twitter communists not being afraid. AOC and the leftist gunboy locked up in a test of strength. I believe we got one more person coming out. We'll be done. This will be our last person. Ayanna Pressley going for a pin on AOC. AOC is out, so the squad, little inner squad scrimmage there, and Ayanna Pressley eliminates AOC, and Debbie DSA is our last person. So we've got 7 folks out here by my count. Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar from Congress, leftist gunboy, Angela Davis, Debbie DSA, that local DSA member. And there's a pin. BLM is eliminated. I was about to say they were still in it, but they got pinned. So BLM has been eliminated. We are down to 6. And Ilhan Omar, another 2 count kicked out with Angela Davis that time. So we're down to 6. And of course, the top 4 will get bonus points. Ayanna Pressley and Angela Davis, and Twitter communist breaks that up with a shot on Ayanna Pressley. Ilhan Omar and Angela Davis going at it. Davis setting up one of those ladders. And the Twitter communist got Debbie DSA up for suplex, holding her, and then sort of just falls. That was weird. Not planned, I don't think. And then he rolls and jumps up and punches the cop. Punches the police state. That's a couple times Twitter communist has punched the police state. Making me love that guy. Get your shots in, man. When you're out there in the rumble, man, get your shots in. And he flips Debbie DSA, and they're going at it on one side. Leftist gunboy and Ilhan Omar going at it. 6 competitors left. Top 4 will get bonus points, so 2 more folks get eliminated. We'll be getting into the bonus points. There's a 2 count on Angela Davis. And now Twitter communist going for a pin on Debbie DSA, just a 2 count. Plenty of hammers in there tonight for May Day. It's good to see. Angela Davis has been busted open as well. Respect your elders, folks. And the leftist gunboy with a spear on Angela Davis and going for the pin, and he gets it. Angela Davis taken out by the leftist gunboy. White guy took out Angela Davis. They just don't know when to step back and let others shine, do they? Of course, we have 3 women in there still. 2 of them African-American women, and then 2 white guys. So we'll see how this plays out. You know how the discourse tends to lean towards the white guy perspective. And there's a pin on Ayanna Pressley. Ayanna Pressley is out. She eliminated 5 folks tonight. Wow, Bob, is that right? 5 folks. That's a good, healthy number for a Monday Night Rumble at Discourse. Good job by Ayanna Pressley. I think this is the first time we've seen her this season. That's a strong showing, though. So we are down to our final 4. Ilhan Omar, Debbie DSA, the Twitter communist, and the leftist gunboy. And the leftist gunboy has got Debbie DSA, who's been busted open in a bear hug, squeezing her. He's not letting go, and nobody's interfering there, and she's hurting. You can see she is hurting. Yeah, she gives it up. I was wondering because you could see her really struggling there, and you could hear the crack. So she does get 3 bonus points, but the leftist gunboy sends her out. And of course, we talked about how many women we had, how many African Americans were in this thing at certain time. They were down in the final 3, and there's 2 white guys and Ilhan Omar. And one white guy throws Ilhan Omar in the head, and the leftist gunboy pins her. And then immediately, Twitter communist on top of the leftist gunboy after they kick out, and he wins. So the Twitter communist wins this thing. That was a rapid fire ending from 3 to the finale. Debbie DSA hadn't even left the ring yet. Piles of bodies. Let's look at this replay. You see Twitter communist drops Ilhan Omar, but leftist gunboy swoops in for the pin, and then he jumps on the leftist gunboy for the pin immediately afterwards. So here's our results from the night. You can see at the top, 12 points for the Twitter communist. He eliminated 2 folks, got 10 bonus points. Leftist gunboy with 10, he got those 7 bonus points, plus eliminated 3 folks. Ilhan Omar with 7. Ayanna Presley with 5. And that's without bonus. That's just straight up 5 eliminations. Noam Chomsky with 4, also with no bonus points. And Debbie DSA got those 3 bonus points to crack our tonight's results board. And our standings after 4 events. Look at this. Twitter Communist has run away with this thing. Now, he finished close to the final the first 2 weeks, and now he won this one. He is running away with it. Of course, all that won't matter. It'll just buy him last place in the final week if it holds. But he is at the top with 27 points, man. Reply Guy with 16. Police State with 15. The Billionaire Idiot with 14. The Dumbass Running for President again with 13. And the Leftist Gunboy there with 10 cracks the leaderboard. Way to go, Leftist Gunboy. Alright, so that's what this is. As always, this is supported by my Southern Gothic Futurist Patreon. You know what, man, talking about the Chapo Trap House earlier, there's Patreons that do some really idiotic shit that make a lot of money. And I don't make as much money as that. I mean, I do very well. I'm very thankful for all my supporters. But you know what, man, if you're watching this and you don't support my Patreon, click the link there. Think about supporting it. If you do support it, man, share this with somebody. Share it with somebody, man. Help dirtgod out, man. Help me keep the lights on. Help me pay my heat bill from last winter, which I still haven't paid. Whew. Man, everything's so damn high, like that old Eddie Harris song. I need some money. Everything is so damn high, y'all. Anyways, that's it. Happy May Day. We are done with 4 weeks of our 7-week series. We will be back next Monday night. I do not know if there will be a theme or if it'll just be a straight up rumble. And then 2 weeks from now, we will have our last one before the grand finale in 3 weeks, and we will crown a champion of the spring 2023 Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. I hope you know how this works by now, and if you don't, I hope you made it to the end, and if you didn't make it to the end, I hope you have a blessed life anyways, even if you didn't hear this. I love you regardless of whether you hear me say I love you or not. Not about the clout, although I could use the money, but it ain't even about the money. Fuck everything. Have fun. Salam.